Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be talking about Deathstroke in the 2000s, because that was a different time for Deathstroke. He went from being misunderstood anti-hero to full-on villain, because some weird stuff happened to him in the 90s, in his Deathstroke series. It was really weird what happened, because he had some really good storylines up until The Hunted. The Hunted kicked off his crappy storylines, because we had like City of Assassins, Full Cycle. You had some really good Deathstroke storylines, and then The Hunted rolled around, and pretty much everything after that was just complete crap. And his series ended with him faking his own death. Well, we found out he's immortal, and he fakes his own death. So it was really weird, especially because a year later he came back and fought Batman in Detective Comics, which didn't really make any sense because he had faked his own death, and he came back like nothing had happened. Like no one knew Deathstroke had faked his death. I mean, no one knew that Deathstroke had died. It was really weird. But yeah, we didn't see Deathstroke in his own series again until the New 52. But I won't be talking about the New 52. This is like modern age, I believe, is what it's referred to as. Because like the 90s was part of the Bronze Age, or like late 90s became the modern age. But yeah, I get confused with all that. And so he appeared in other people's books because he didn't have his own. And it was pretty interesting. This was when he became known as a Green Arrow villain more. This was when he started being associated with Green Arrow because what happened in Identity Crisis. In Identity Crisis, there we go. But yeah, in Identity Crisis, if you don't know, he was fighting Justice League successfully, taking them all down. It wasn't like, you know, Superman and Batman. It was Zatanna, Hawkman, a bunch like Adam, a bunch of different people, including Green Arrow, obviously, and he was taking them all down. It was really cool to see. Also Flash, and then Green Arrow jumps on his back with an arrow and stabs him in his empty eye socket. And it was like, really? I have no problem with Deathstroke being taken down by the Justice League, but in such a stupid way, it made no sense to me. Really, like, the best strategist didn't plan for something like that, or he's so he's so fast, he can see the Flash, but he can't see Green Arrow doing that. And even so, if that happened, he's really stupid enough to let the anger just make him so angry that he stabbed him there. So he just aborts the plan and decides to, you know, get all pissed off and like, screw the plan, I got stabbed in the empty eye socket, who cares now, nothing matters. It was really retarded. It was really stupid. But yeah, that kicked off the Green Arrow and Deathstroke rivalry, and he came back and got his revenge in Green Arrow Road to Jericho, which was really cool. Is my favorite Deathstroke storyline with him as a villain. Well, it wasn't a Deathstroke storyline, but you know what I mean. My favorite storyline featuring Deathstroke as a villain. Like, well, that's hard to say because of Judas Contract, but I'd still probably say that Road to Jericho because it was so good. Judas Contract was really good, but he was the villain of the book in Judas Contract, but he himself wasn't really a villain, to where in Road to Jericho he was a villain and he was the villain of the book, if that makes any sense. But yeah, he was awesome in that. He ended up taking down Black Canary and Green Arrow. It was so cool how he did it, and I jumped. My favorite Deathstroke quote came out of that as well. It was, I don't remember the exact quote, but something like, "You swung back and you swung back hard, but let's not forget just who and what I am, and that I could end this at any time." And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. It was my favorite Deathstroke quote. It was so awesome. Deathstroke works as a villain. I like him as a villain, but in my opinion, it seems easier to write him when he's an anti-hero, and that's the way he was originally intended. So that's why I prefer him as an anti-hero. But he makes an awesome villain as well. But then the Justice League showed up. Well, also he said that quote while having a sword in Black Canary's mouth and a sword at Green Arrow's throat. And it was just so awesome. But yeah, he was a great villain. He also fought the Teen Titans, both old and new, because, you know, Nightwing had grown up. He wasn't a teenager anymore. In Teen Titans Volume 7. Oh yeah. But what, like, I kind of lost track. What I was saying earlier with the whole, when he was fighting Green Arrow, the Justice League showed up. That's why he didn't kill them, because the Justice League showed up. That's including Superman and a lot of other powerhouses. And so he threw down a kryptonite smoke bomb and escaped. That's why he didn't kill Green Arrow or Black Canary. But it was really cool. And like I was saying, he fights the Teen Titans later, but he also created his own Titans team called Titans East, which was pretty much just a Titans team of mercenaries. Was all he did. Was the book was alright. It pretty much was just a bunch of issues. Like, they weren't terrible, but they weren't really good either. Some were pretty cool though, but majority were just Did nothing real special. My favorite was, though, when we got to see him protect Lex Luthor. What happened was, he was hired to protect Lex Luthor, but he only knew about it. He didn't tell his team. So he told his team their job was to assassinate Lex Luthor, because Lex knew that there was a rat in his team that was going to try and kill him. Not in Deathstroke's team. There was a rat on Lex Luthor's side that was going to try and kill him. So Slade decided, hey, we'll try and do an assassination attempt on him, to read out the person that's trying to kill Lex. And it was really cool. I love seeing that strategy. It was awesome. How? And so he ends up, saving Lex Luthor. And it was really cool. He also fights for Lex. Works for Lex later in the Secret Society of Supervillains, I believe is what they called. Except it was like it was Alexander Luthor, I believe, from the other universe. Because one was real Lex, and one was because you had the Secret Six, and you had Lex Luthor's Secret Society of Supervillains. I believe that's what they're called. It was like a 6-issue story arc. Catman was made awesome. Up until then, I didn't care for Catman at all, but in that book, Catman was awesome. And it was pretty cool. He was working for Lex Luthor. He sort of ish killed Cheshire. It was kind of one of those comic book things. That's the only reason she lived. He shot her like straight in the chest, but she ended up living. It was just retarded, but she did. And he also had a battle with Deadshot at the end. They were fighting, and then Deadshot's like, okay, let's be men about this. Let's step out on 3 and then just shoot each other, and whoever survives wins. And I don't really see Deathstroke doing that, but I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it was good. I smiled when that happened. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, seeing Deadshot and Deathstroke just do this. And they jumped out and shot at each other. Deathstroke ends up walking away. Deadshot ends up on the ground, barely surviving. They both got like 20 bullets in their chest. But of course, ooh, that was so cool, snapping his neck. But yeah, of course, Deathstroke has a healing factor, so that's why. And Deadshot just survived, because comics. Ow, that was bull crap. I should have kicked him in the face. But yeah, like I was saying, he did fight the Titans later in Teen Titans, Titans East, which wasn't really connected to when he created his own Titans East, because he didn't really have any of the same members in that book. But it was pretty cool. It was a little weird, because in the 90s, what happened with Deathstroke's family was his son Joseph, who when he was early on in Deathstroke, became a mute because Deathstroke was arrogant, and his throat ended up getting slit to where his vocal cords got cut. And it was because Deathstroke was arrogant. It was completely 100% his fault. Then Grant died later, and that wasn't his fault, but he blamed himself for it because Grant was trying to be like Deathstroke, and that's why he died. But Deathstroke even told him not to do what he was doing because he would die, or because he could die. And so I didn't see it as fault, but Deathstroke blamed himself. And then Joseph died later because Deathstroke stabbed him through the chest. He had to, though, because he was being possessed, and Joseph even told him to do it. But again, that's kind of having to stab your own kid, even if they are evil, is not something to take lightly. Then Rose comes along as a redemption. Granted, he didn't have Rose with Addie, but that was another kid. And the writers have him treat her like complete crap, manipulate her, and try to control her and everything. I thought it was completely stupid. I was like, Deathstroke gets a redemption child, and he does the same thing he did with Tara. It was retarded. I thought it was really stupid. Even though she wasn't with Addie, I still think he would have treated her much better than he did, like how he stored kryptonite in her eye and crap. It was really stupid, in my opinion. I don't see Deathstroke doing that, considering he saw how much he screwed up with his past kids. I don't see him doing that, even though she was with a different woman. It was stupid, in my opinion. But yeah, he ends up at the end of the storyline fighting the Teen Titans on the beach, and it was awesome. He ends up fighting the new Teen Titans, which means people like Tim Drake and Cassie, Wonder Girl. And then the old Teen Titans come back, so Beast Boy, Raven, Bart Allen. Well, Bart Allen kind of grew up. It was weird with Bart Allen. Nightwing. It was really, really cool. Cyborg. And he's fighting all of them. Plus, yeah, Donna Troy. Ow! Sniper, run! Okay, I need to. Now. He also. There's a bunch of others. Like, hey! Jump off! Hey, go! Get off! Okay, I almost died there. That was bullcrap. Deathstroke wouldn't jump over. But yeah, he fought like Miss Martian was there as well. A lot of powerhouses, and it was so cool. He took them all on at once. It was really cool. I thought it was an awesome fight, but what he was saying in his mind didn't match up with like what he was doing really at all. It was kind of like a bipolar Deathstroke. It didn't make sense because the whole last issue, a majority of it was from his perspective. You were inside his mind, and the whole point of writing from a character's perspective is so you know what's going on, so you know what they're doing in their head. But instead, nope, it was real weird. He was saying outside, you know, he was telling them all how much of a disappointment Rose was, how Rose was just a mistake and Joseph was his true heir, and how he wanted to save Joseph, which you saw. But Rose, he hated, and then later at the end he's like, the Titans gave my children something I never could, a family, something they deserve. It's like, you just tried to slit your daughter's throat earlier. What are you talking about? He literally took a sword and started cutting her throat until the Titans stopped him. And it was like, this makes no sense. It was really weird, but the fight was awesome. It seemed Deathstroke was awesome. He even said, the mistake of the Titans is trying to take me on in hand-to-hand. I could do this all day. It was so cool. Also, Cassandra Cain was there, which is considered like the best fighter in the DCU, or at least in the top 5. I hate Cassandra Cain personally. I think she's completely overrated, and I wish she was a character that was never invented. That's my opinion. But yeah. Nightwing one-shots her on the beach, which was probably my favorite part of the book. He just goes and punches her straight in the face because she wants to kill Deathstroke, since Deathstroke had manipulated her like he did Tara and Rose, and she wanted to kill him. So Nightwing's like, you know what? We can't kill. You know, we're heroes. We're not supposed to kill Deathstroke. He needs to face a court. Punches her straight in the face, one shot. I was like, yes! Yes! I wish Deathstroke would have done it, but still pretty cool seeing him do that. And yeah, there was a bunch of other stuff that happened in 2000. I don't know how long I've been talking, but that he faced Teen Titans then. He also tried to manipulate Tara's brother. That issue was a little weird about how it happened. Like what happened in that issue, he ended up getting stabbed with his own sword. I didn't really care for the issue. I'm trying to think of other big stuff that happened without taking too much time. Shh. Shh. You can't see me. But yeah, I guess I'll end it here. 2000s again was a very interesting time because he became more famous purely because of Identity Crisis. That's what really got Deathstroke noticed, was because it's like, oh man, he took on the Justice League, even though he had done it before in his own book, and he had fought with the Justice League and Panic in the Sky. But this got him noticed more. People were like, whoa, Deathstroke can do this stuff. And it was that's what brought him more to fame to today. At least that's how I see it. I believe without Identity Crisis, I don't think, and the Teen Titans TV show, obviously, I don't think Deathstroke would have been as famous as he is today. But yeah, I might talk more on this subject later because there's still some stuff that I left out, but I don't know. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.